What's up, guys? How y'all doing? I have returned for another video, and this is a first of two things. We're actually going to cover two topics in this video, and as you meant, and I mentioned in my last video that I would do a video on the Utah prediction. Well, this is that video, and I'm going to also address something else first. So let's get started. Okay, after 5 games, University of Hawaiʻi has won all 5 of them. The UH men's basketball team, 3 on the road, 3 at home, and the last 2 on the road. And the first topic that I'm covering is Noel Coleman has been named Big West Player of the Week. And major props to Noel Coleman. He got the honor yesterday. He's averaged over 16 points a game and just under an assist. And that's a good accomplishment for Noel. And I got to be honest, there were times last year where I thought that he rightfully deserved one Big West Player of the Week honors. But unfortunately, JoVon McClanahan was the only one who got the Big West Player of the Week honors. And that was after McClanahan had sank his game-winning triple against SMU in the Diamond Head Classic in 2022. And I really thought that at that time last season that UH was going to flourish and give us a season that we were never going to forget. But instead, it turned out to be a season of good half, bad half, or a tale of two halves, I guess you want to put it. Those Jekyll and Hyde games that I kept bringing up, where normally if UH gets a good first half, they end up with a not so good second half, or vice versa. But I think that all started when Juan Munoz went down, and then they ended up losing this guy or that guy from their bench, and even the occasional starter. Well, as a matter of fact, the only time they ever lost a starter was senior night against UC Irvine when Bernardo da Silva didn't play. But anyway, with Noel Coleman being named Big West Player of the Week, major props to Noel, like I said. And quite frankly, I actually thought he did deserve that honor last season. But unfortunately, the University of Hawaiʻi just kept kind of slipping through the cracks, and that was probably because of their Jekyll and Hyde games last season. But now UH is 5-0 in non-conference play. Of course, after defeating the San Diego Toreros to win the Acrisure Invitational in Palm Desert, California. So major congrats to UH again. So obviously they're bringing home some more hardware. And I certainly hope that they can bring some more hardware with a back-to-back Diamond Head Classic Championship. I know that's easier said than done, but you know what? I think they got a chance. But quite frankly, I would be happy if they were in the winner's bracket, because Noel Coleman has proven to be a very valuable asset to the backcourt. And I do think that he's playing up to his potential. And on top of all this, while he said in one of the past pressers that he didn't think that he had anything to prove, but he just felt that as a team, that he had something to prove as a team. And I agree with that. I mean, obviously, after how last season turned out, obviously last season could have and should have been better. But it seemed like that momentum that UH garnered after winning the Diamond Head Classic got squashed in an instant. But now I'm starting to think that we're starting to find some traction, and we're really building a lot of momentum to go into Utah and for conference play and even the Diamond Head Classic as well. But like I said, I thought Noel Coleman should have won Big West Player of the Week last season. And frankly, I thought some other guys deserved that honor too. You know, like Morsek and maybe even JoVon McClanahan again. And frankly, I even thought that somebody else, or maybe even Cody Williams, or even Justice Jackson, that were on the squad last year, should have deserved Big West Player of the Week honors, or even Beon Riley. But I don't know if they give that to only starters or what. But anyway, I don't really know the dynamics of that. But I just think that someone from UH should have been on the Big West Player of the Week consideration list. You see what I mean here? So, but unfortunately, it is what it is. I mean, but then again, last season in softball, Isabella Martinez earned back-to-back Big West Players of the Week, and I thought that was very commendable. And of course, speaking of Utah, this prediction video. Now, after 5 straight wins, I have to wonder if UH will really have the upper hand here. Now, I was looking on HawaiiAthletics.com. Overall, all time, University of Hawaii is 9-37 against Utah going back to 1978. But fortunately, the last time we faced Utah, we won 90-79. And that was back in November of 2018. Now, I mentioned that Utah was in the Diamond Head Classic one year. I was right about that, but it was actually 2016. And UH unfortunately got whopped on that one. They ended up losing by a considerable margin. It was 66-52. And that was in the Diamond Head Classic, like I said. But fortunately, UH came back to win their Christmas Day game. But right now, obviously, with Utah being part of the Pac-12, it's going to be hard because the Pac-12 is a is a much more better conference uh, with other opponents around the West Coast side. Think like Seattle or anything like that. But anyway, while I do think that UH is going to win this, I would probably put them down for, I would say, 3-point favorites. But if they can win by a lot more than that, I'll be very surprised. And if they can win against Utah, that also proves that we have something to show for conference play. And maybe this will be the season where UH would have finished second in. But unfortunately, the NCAA did UH a lot of wrong by not allowing Jerome DeRosier, who was with Yale, or excuse me, Princeton, a couple seasons ago, and they didn't even get to play because of the pandemic. And Jerome was a grad transfer 2 seasons ago. There was the possibility of a second senior year for Jerome, but the NCAA said no. And that kind of makes me scratch my head because his girlfriend, McKenna Hare, who was on the Wahine basketball team with Jerome, went down with an injury. And then she ended up sending an NCAA waiver to come back the following season, and it was granted. Same goes for Juan Munoz after last season went for him, because his season came to an end pretty much before it ever got started when he had that Achilles injury in the UH Hilo game last season. And as a result, UH had lost 7 games by just one possession, mainly because Munoz was not out there. But now Juan is really showing us something too. Is certainly showing me something. And like I said in a past video, I would have hated for Juan to come here and not have much of a tenure. But anyway, as far as Utah is concerned, they have some quality players. I don't know if UH is going to be as lucky as they were against San Diego. Am I saying UH got lucky and turned back San Diego? No. They came in prepared. And do I think they're going to come in prepared for Utah? Absolutely. But their shooting has got to be there for them to really win this one going away. So we're going to have to hit the ground running and find ways to keep the good fortune, to keep the good luck in our corner. So while I do think UH is going to win, like I said earlier, I would pick them for 3-point favorites. But then again, you never know because anything's possible. I do think that though that if there are guys that got to get a little better, at least in terms of scoring anyway, Bernardo da Silva and Matthew Cotton. And Matthew Cotton was actually a surprise to me because I thought that Cotton would have at least scored a few buckets, but instead, after 23 points against UTRGV, Texas Rio Grande Valley, he had 23 there, and then he had only 3 points in the San Diego game. And of course, Bernardo da Silva, 14 in that game, I believe, and he ended up with just 1 point, just one free throw against San Diego. But that's the way basketball is. I mean, one game you're really hot, the next game you're not so hot. And another example in Supercross, Kevin Windham. The guy's notoriously fast and can put in a lot of solid laps, but when it comes to race time, he can't make it past the mental part, and he ends up not really riding up to his potential. So now, I'm not implying that Matthew Cotton or Bernardo da Silva weren't playing up to their potentials, just that shooting wasn't there for them anyway. So, anyway, guys, that's all for today. And just remember, subscribe. You want more recap videos or these kind of prediction videos or even my game show games, which you will see later this week. Just remember, subscribe. I bought a pro license with TubeBuddy to hopefully grow my channel some more and remonetize it. So anyway, guys, just keep showing your support. I do want to remonetize my channel badly. So anyway, subscribe. I will catch you all later and keep those subs coming. So, Malama Pono, everyone.